Hey guys, it's Intuitive 144. I am a psychic medium along with being a physical medium. I'm going to be doing Jonah, the story of Jonah. I said I was going to post this video 2 weeks ago, right? But I have I have a pattern which I'm stopping today of saying I'm going to post somebody tomorrow because I'm working on them, like today, right? Saying, hey, I'm going to post somebody tomorrow because I'm working on them today. And, sometimes I get messages like that. Other times I don't. And here we are 2 weeks later. Okay, I finally have completed all of my notes. Well, the information that Spirit was willing to give me, because there's a lot of bits and pieces missing, but here's what I was able to channel. Here's what I was able to pick up on, blah, blah, blah. $72 for a 30-minute reading and $144 for an hour session. Thank you guys so much. Let's begin. So as you guys know, I speak to spirits, right? I meditated on Jonah and here for days, weeks, takes time. And here's what I conjured up, right? Here's what I received from Spirit and kind of, in my opinion, God a little bit, because I can feel the difference between spirits and God, right? But let's begin. So immediately, Jonah was obnoxious, very obnoxious, okay? And his energy feels very feminine to me. Very, very, very feminine. I'm going to be inserting clips. I don't know when I'm going to be inserting the clip on his behavior. Maybe I can write it down.
We're not trying to support. Shut the fuck up. That's all I gotta say. If you're not trying to support, shut up. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. I don't care about shit you talking about. If you're not trying to support me, shut up. Because at the end of the day, all I got is myself. Don't come up here and tell me how fast and how slow I need to do this. Did you pop me out of that?
Why are you so angry?
Did you pop me?
Now at 147, insert a clip of his behavior of what I picked up on. Please bear with me. I'm not really an editing kind of girly pop, but please bear with me, okay? Very, very, get down, Bosk, down. Very, very obnoxious, okay? He feels very, very feminine, okay? Almost as if he was a sassy man, all right? By the way, I want to say, just from meditating on his energy, I don't think, I wrote, by the way, I don't think the Bible is telling the truth about his name. I believe that they are telling the truth about his name. However, I don't feel like we are pronouncing his name correctly, okay? So his name was Jonah, I guess, right? But it was pronounced differently in the visions, meditation, and from what Spirit was saying. It was more like a Yona, okay? And so I just feel the need to say Yona more, all right? Even with Joseph, it feels like it was a Yusuf, because I keep feeling like the alphabet didn't have 26 letters till many generations later, till many generations after Jonah, such as U, J, and W wasn't invented yet, they told me. But I have no way to prove this, right? Just blind reading. Anyways, as I said before, his name was Yona, or how they pronounced it to me was Yona, okay? And I kept hearing a Middle Eastern accent, so maybe he was Greek, Turkish, or Israeli, something like that, all right? Now, Turkey and Israel were more closer to each other. I'm going to be inserting clips. All right, so please bear with me. I am not an editor. I'm not really good at editing, So Turkey and Israel were more close to each other. All right. Then Spirit said the tectonic plates were more closer to each other. So let's say Turkey and Israel on the map right now was more spread out. It feels like they were closer with each other during biblical days. So at least Spirit showed me and told me the tectonic plates, the earth plates, whatever they go, they were closer. They were shifted closer, okay? But yeah, so transitioning out of that message, it feels like Yona was around 26 to 27 years old. I am not picking up on a 30-year-old man, a 40, 50, 60-year-old man, very young, okay? 26 to 27, which explains the obnoxious, even though you can be 60 years old and be obnoxious. But anyways, I'm going to insert a picture right here of what he looked like. So 446, insert a picture of what he looked like, okay? Very skinny in the vision, very skinny, but a more unhealthier / shaggier looking kind of skinny. So have you, like, you can, like, let's say someone's healthy, right? I mean, let's say someone's skinny. You can tell the difference between a healthy skinny and an unhealthy skinny, all right? And he was an unhealthy skinny, all right? And he had a nasty attitude, and he thought he knew everything, okay? Like, he just walked around like he knew everything. Now, I wouldn't call him mean. I wouldn't say he was a mean person, but he was easily defensive and he lacked gratitude. Kind of like me, last Thanksgiving, I was like, the fuck am I being thankful for? Ain't nothing to be thankful for. But it was a lot to be thankful for, and I was just in my feelings. But it feels like he never got out of this until later on with the fish that we'll talk about later, which shocked me, guys. Oh my gosh, I have no way to prove this, but if what I picked up on is true, my oh my oh my. Anyways, all right, I wouldn't say he was mean, but he was easily defensive and he lacked gratitude, okay? Now, in the vision, I kept feeling like he experienced ringing of the ear. All right, so it feels like, it's something with his intuition or his discernment or guides, or maybe God was trying to get to him and he just wasn't understanding. So sometimes ringing of the ear can be due to, I'm probably going to mispronounce this word, titanus. But sometimes from what I was told in meditation, when spirits or guides or angels speak to us, they're too much of a high frequency that we cannot understand them. Okay. Also similar to people who have autism, when I meditated on that, spirit told me that they're here to shift the earth for the better. And being that a lot of humans are like, have a third grade mindset, when we, give birth to someone that has autism, and then, they know all the planets at the age of 5 years old. We're just really, humans are just, it's okay. I'm getting off topic, but that's what they told me. But anyways, Jonah experienced a ringing of the ear. Okay. Also, he was a procrastinator, and it doesn't feel like God liked this. And I feel very terrible to say what God liked or what God didn't like. So God, please forgive me. I just have no other way to shift these words. But it felt like in the vision, God did not like that he was a procrastinator. Okay. And once again, I feel terrible for saying that, because who am I to speak for God, right? But it felt like back then, maybe procrastination could have been associated with laziness, and maybe laziness was frowned upon, okay? Now, please don't attack me for saying that. But it feels like he contemplated, all day long, to the point where he didn't do either of what he was contemplating on, all right? For example, sometimes I'll say stuff like, okay, I'm going to detangle my hair, I'm gonna mop the floor, and then I'm gonna write down some affirmations. And I'm so focused on detangling my hair, mopping the floor, and, doing my affirmations. And then by the end of the day, I have done nothing. All right. So it just feels like he was a procrastinator. Okay. Once again, it feels like God did not like this. Okay. And another thing, Jonah easily fell into temptation. All right. Easily fell into temptation, ladies and gentlemen, in my beautiful days and thems. All right. So also, this is very random for spirit to tell me this, but he was allergic to tomatoes. Okay. And didn't like berries. Anyways. Also, if I could explain to you guys how his behavior reminded me, who his behavior reminded me of, it would be the lion from the movie The Wiz. So if you guys, watch the movie, hopefully you guys have. But he was like the lion, appearing to be very ferocious and very demanding and the king of the jungle, right? And cocky. But internally, he was a wimp. He was scared. And also sarcastic. And I don't know if I said that earlier, but Jonah was very sarcastic, okay? Also, Spirit said he was a sadistic person, okay? And I'm sensing it was more than him it was more than him disobeying God with being it feels like there were other things involved, like in terms of like karma, that were a part of him, being swallowed by a fish. All right. But he was a sadistic person. So what's an example? Like it like kind of like a bully, so kind of mean, or kind of like chuckling at other people's misfortunes because maybe he, feels like, so maybe invalidating people's feelings, at times. Right. And I love, doing stories like this because I feel like this humanizes them, especially Jonah. Oh my goodness, because Moses was amazing. So when I think of Moses energetically, he reminds me of Michael Jackson, like very soft and very this. But when I think of when I tap into Jonah's energy, it's like, girl, like you're really like, it's okay. He's a human. It's okay. But yeah, Spirit said he was a sadistic person. It felt like he invalidated people's feelings a lot of times. Now, am I getting bully energy? But no, but I guess being a sadistic person, bullying falls under that word, right? Now, once again, it felt like his karma, okay, so him disobeying God, because I think so I'm not really familiar with the story, right? I just know the not the important parts, but like the parts that my Nana kept, telling me over and over, or I would hear in church, right? Where God was like, go somewhere and do something, and he didn't want to do it. It felt, and so he was swallowed by a fish, right? And so it feels like it was more than him disobeying God that led to him getting swallowed by a fish. Now, are you guys ready for the fish part? Get your popcorn. When I tell you this blew me away. If this is true, oh my God, if this is true, this blew me away. And I'm so mad I have no proof I have no way to confirm this. But use your discernment with me, right? And go with what your heart tells you. We have been misinformed, if this is true, but humans, or with him being swallowed by this fish, right? People say it's a whale, right? I would say this: people are not too far off. So let's begin. Even though I already began, but anyways, so once again, it feels like he experienced other forms of karma, besides, him disobeying God, and that was his karma. And that there were other things that happened as a punishment, with him getting swallowed by a fish. Then, as soon as I said fish in my head in the meditation, right? As soon as I said fish, I said, tell me about this fish, Spirit. They showed me a vision of a hammerhead shark, and then they said hammerhead shark. So I woke up from my meditation because I'm like, no, that doesn't seem right. I looked up how big a hammerhead shark is, and Google said 20 feet. I'm like, no, that still doesn't feel right. So then I asked Google if a human can be swallowed, if a hammerhead can swallow a human, and Google said no. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly, what I picked up on, right? And so then Spirit, showed me a vision of me. They show me a vision of me in bed, reaching for a cup, and I'm too lazy to get out of bed, right? So I'm reaching for this cup, and I'm close to getting this cup, but I'm not quite, like touching, this red cup so I can drink my water. So that's them letting me know, where am I at? That's them letting me know that I'm close to finding the answer, but I'm not that close with me, almost touching this cup, right? So I'm like, okay. Then Spirit asked, so I'm not going to lie, a lot of reasons why I don't meditate is because it takes forever and I'm kind of impatient. And so they asked me because I felt like because I could sense that they felt I was getting irritated. I'm like, F this. I'm not about to do Jonah, to be honest, because this is too much, Then they asked me, what's bigger than a hammerhead shark but looks like one? And I'm like, what? I don't know. So I go on Google, I get the type in. What's bigger than a hammerhead shark and looks like one? Then Google said a swordfish and a shrimp. I'm like, what? Like, no, you guys are playing with me. Then Spirit showed me a red X and they went like this to let me know, no, dummy, that's not the answer. And so then they said, keep thinking of hammerhead sharks. I'm like, yeah, oh my God. So I do some research and guess what? A whale shark. A ding, 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 ding. A whale shark. So let me insert 1511. A whale shark. A whale shark. A whale shark. Then Spirit said, surprise. And then they showed me confetti in my vision. And they said, congratulations, you got it. So I looked up a human swimming with a whale shark. And it made a lot of motherfucking sense. Oh, I can't be cursing. It made a lot of sense. It made a lot of sense. It made a lot of sense. Go ahead. Get ready to dislike the video. Who cares? Because I know some of y'all got nuts and, it's okay. So I looked up a human swimming with a whale shark. And I'm like, yo, that makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to lie. So we all know the Bible doesn't say what kind of fish it was, right? But a lot of people think it was a whale. It was not. It was a whale shark. Wow, wow, wow. But you guys are not really you're not that off, right? That was, if I am right about that, that is nuts, not nuts about him getting swallowed, but the fact that I picked up on it and this whole time everybody thinks it's a whale. Anyways, because of his disruptive behavior, Spirit said he was swallowed by a whale shark, not a whale. It would have been too much for him to be for a whale to consume him, swallow him, because they're saying the water, the amount of water, the impact, and here I go getting ready to speak for God, but God is so meticulous with things. It would have been better for a whale shark to swallow him, not an actual whale. Would have been too much. But let's continue with the rest of my messages, because some of you guys may disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. Meditating, and tell me what the F you get, okay? So I asked Spirit to take me through the process of him getting swallowed. I'm very nosy. If any one of you guys have ever booked me, I ask all the questions. I'm very detailed, almost too detailed. I should really not be too detailed, but that's okay. So Spirit allowed me to think/feel and be Jonah in this part of the meditation, right? And so here are some of his oh my gosh, his thoughts/feelings. But before I talk about that, in the vision, they allowed me to feel like I was him, right? And he's on this boat and he gets pushed off this boat or sucked off this boat. I know that sounds crazy, right? Not that somebody pushed him off, but it felt like a magnetic force pushed him off or sucked him or pulled him off the boat, okay? Then in the vision, as I'm getting pulled off or sucked out, I know this sounds crazy, but pushed off the boat, I see pitch black, okay? And then I hear noises similar to being at the lowest floor on a cruise, all right? So let me just insert something, 1820. Okay. Very similar to being on the lowest floor on a cruise, okay? And I believe it's called the engine, right? All right. So now I'm seeing pitch black. It sounds creaky. The sounds that surround me sounds very creaky, motiony. Like I can tell that I'm moving, but I can't really tell that I'm moving. Like a cruise, like you can tell you're moving, but you can't really tell that you're moving. And so it's like pretend you're in an engine room, okay? So what you're hearing, right? Pretend you're hearing that, but being underwater, it felt like that, okay? Now, it doesn't feel like Jonah panicked because he didn't know what happened, okay? It's like throwing a blanket over your infant's face, right? So let's say you're making your infant laugh. They're kiki smiley kiki go go ga. And then you put a blanket over your infant's face, and then they stop smiling because they're like, wait, what the hell? Now I see pitch black. What is going on? I'm trying to process this, but you can't really process blackness, right? All right. And so as soon as they see the darkness, they don't know what to think. But when you pull the blanket off of them and you're like, they're smiling, right? And you smile. So it doesn't feel like Jonah processed anything because there was nothing to process from. Let's say you never seen an elephant in your life, and I ask you, what does an elephant look like? You wouldn't know what to think. It was like, down, Booska. All right, okay. But so it doesn't feel like he processed anything because there was nothing to process from. But once he felt enclosed, that's what they said, enclosed. And once he felt the tightness, the warmth yet feeling cold, he panicked. But as soon as he panicked, it felt like God reassured him. Who am I to be speaking for God? I know. But that's what I felt in the vision, right? Felt like God reassured him. And, when I seen that in the vision, I'm not going to lie, I had to laugh at that because it's like, and God, please forgive me if I'm not telling this story right. But how funny is it for God to have him get swallowed by a whale shark, knowing he'd be freaked out, just to reassure him as he's in the whale shark's stomach body? It's like pushing somebody, then catching them before they fall. If that makes sense. It's like, what was the point? But the point was, trust me, right? Anyway, as far as Jonah, in the Bible says Jonah was in this fish stomach for 3 days. I do believe that because that's what I picked up on energetically, okay? So let's get to the part where I'm asking Jonah questions. All right. And I want to say sometimes sometimes a soul doesn't directly speak to me. Spirits will speak for them. I asked Jonah, were you hungry during this process of you being in the whale shark for 3 days? I heard, not really. It felt like my stomach was tightened. Now, this could mean a few things, but this is what I picked up on, right? So, for example, when my Nana passed away, the day of and the day after and the day after that, so for about 3 to 4 days, I didn't eat. Not because I wasn't hungry, but I was in so much shock that my Nana is not here anymore that I couldn't even open my mouth to want to eat food. It's very similar to people in stressful situations and they're like, oh, I can't eat right now. I'm sick. I can't. I can't. But then again, some people do eat when they're stressed out. But for Jonah, it felt like he was so flabbergasted that food wasn't even a thought of his, okay? Now, I want to say, I'm allowing to feel that God reassured him, but it feels like Jonah didn't know what he was inside of until the whale shark threw him up. So I don't even think he felt like he was swallowed by a fish as he was inside of the fish, okay? It felt like he didn't feel anything because he didn't know what to think of, right? It's like, I don't think he thought he was alive, but then I also feel like it feels like he thought he was alive, but then he also thought he was dead. Because he's like, what's going on? Like, I don't see anything. I feel weird, So I'm going to tell you guys a story. A few years ago, I took a dangerously large amount of shrooms. And I could not tell what was real or what was fake for about 36 hours. Shout out to my friend for being there with me. It is very hard when you're on drugs like shrooms, LSD, acid. If you know, it's very hard to tell what's reality and what's not reality. And I thank God for my friend because I was eating bars of soap because it looked like, so imagine like a small Dove pink soap it was like the size of a giant marshmallow, and I'm eating it because I'm thinking it's a marshmallow. And I remember going to the kitchen and I start like poking at my body because I didn't feel real. And my friend, my friend didn't look real to me, and thank God he was there to reassure me, but I couldn't tell what was reality and what was not. And so I tell you guys this story because energetically it feels like for Jonah, I'm going to keep saying that because it doesn't feel right saying Jonah. It doesn't feel like he knew what was and what wasn't. And it felt like he was in between reality and what was not reality. And guys, I have a question to ask you. What is in between reality and not reality? I don't know. You tell me. But I will say this. Him being in between the real and the fake was absolutely intentional. Now, unfortunately, Spirit is not going to give me the whole shebang of the story. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They'll give me the 3, the 5, and then the 1. Then I got to put it together, right? That's okay. I'm very happy with the answers that I received, especially the fact that it wasn't a whale. It was a whale shark. All right. But I will say this. When you think of the boy who cried wolf, think of the story of Jonah. Jonah was the original, the boy who cried wolf, okay? Because they're showing me that when the whale shark spat him out or threw him up, regurgitated, right? And he came out, he ran to tell everybody, anybody nearby, but nobody believed him because he was known for he was a notorious liar, okay? So like the boy who cried wolf, okay, yeah. Now, let's talk about some questions that I asked Jonah, but in the vision, it felt like a spirit was speaking for him, all right? So I asked Jonah, what did you learn from this? And as I said before, with a very sarcastic, sometimes when I channel, my nose itches, but a sarcastic energy, I see a guy walk up to me in the vision, and he has a slight attitude, but a sassy / snarky / funny kind of attitude. And he says, I learned to do right by God, or you'll be swallowed by a fish. And so I thought that was hilarious, okay? Because he had like a funny personality, and once again, he was saying it in a sarcastic / funny kind of asshole way. All right, so it had me questioning, did you even change your behavior, or is this just a part of your personality? But so when I said, did you change your behavior, or was this a part of your personality? I hear a chuckle in my ear. So it feels like he learned his lesson. But will he always be sassy? Probably, right? Anyways, I would say this. I'm not too familiar with the story of Jonah. I only know bits and pieces because, once again, from my Nana, and she also took me to Sight and Sound theaters in Pennsylvania. But I will say this, or what I felt like in the vision was, overall, this story was a way of God humbling Jonah for his behavior. All right. Some people have it all in life. Then they treat people like shit and they lose it. Some people treat people like shit, then they have a heart attack and become bedbound. And the same people that they treated like shit, they have to depend on. Some people laugh at people's situations just to later on in life experience the same situation that they laughed at other people for experiencing, right? And some people get swallowed by a fish. I'm going to say this. I don't never want to, just kill me. I don't want to be swallowed by a fish, okay? But I want to say thank you guys so much for this. Joseph is next. I haven't started on him yet. I'm going to do that tonight. Thank you guys so much for the support. You guys are changing my life, increasing my gift, challenging me. Oh my gosh, changing my bank account. I'm so grateful. I bow down. I thank every one of you, even the people that talk about Surah in my comments, yet they're still watching me. I don't know why, but it's okay. I know you love me. I love all of you guys. Thank you so much for being patient with me. Thank you. I want to say before I close out, I can relate to Jonah in a lot of ways in terms of lacking gratitude, being pessimistic. What else? Procrastinating, right? And I'm really surprised by all of this because I was never expecting him to have this kind of attitude. But I'm glad because it humanizes them, because I feel like sometimes people can like view biblical figures and be like, oh my God, Jonah, oh my God, Moses, but they were people going through people things, right? And so this was amazing. I'm going to be inserting clips, videos. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to me in the comments. Hopefully, if I have an answer, I'll answer it. If not, I want to thank you guys so much for this. Today is the 2nd of March. I was going to post this tomorrow. The Spirit said, get it done now and work on Joseph today. Thank you guys so much. After Joseph, who would you guys like me to do? I am absolutely not doing Jesus Christ. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not going to tell you guys why. I'm just not going to do him. $72 for a 30-minute reading, $144 for an hour session with me. Mwah. I love you guys. I love you. You guys are my tuki. I love you. Goodbye.